All right, so you know, I think everybody knows who I am. If not, I'm John T. I'm one of the OG community members. I've been in the blockchain space for a long time, almost a decade, and really, I'm really fond of leveraging blockchain to disrupt humanity for the better. So. This presentation is a fairly new presentation. It hasn't been circulated too much, but we've gone through some kind of changes over the past year with like what we're doing has never changed, but the I think the presentation has changed a lot because our specific products have kind of like evolved a lot, especially over the last year. So this presentation, my hope is that it sheds some light on the value proposition of Blockbot and then aligns to our, core mission of really leveraging blockchain to disrupt humanity. So we haven't rehearsed this. This is kind of like the maiden voyage to it. I haven't even got with Jake and said, "Hey, how are we gonna present this?" So um, I think we're just gonna wing it. And Jake, if you have anything to say on any slide, let me know. So we do have some standard disclaimers. One thing you'll know about us is that we do things a lot different than traditional companies, for lack of a better term, or other blockchain projects. So these are our standard disclaimers. Feel free to take a picture, read it in depth, but I do have them summarized on this slide. So this may contain some forward-looking statements. There's some things that, exist right now, but we are going to paint a picture of, kind of where we're heading towards in the future. And those are the forward-looking statements, things that don't quite exist right now, but we're working towards and building towards. We don't do like earnings claims or financial advice here at all. Like you'll never hear us talk about like, hey, buy this because the token price is going to this. It's not about that for us. It's about creating value in the world through leveraging blockchain products and services. The digital rewards are for utility. So those are the rewards that we get for running nodes or using products and services. They're designed specifically for having utility within our ecosystem. And then DYOR, that means do your own research. One of the things I've learned throughout the years is just, you know, if I would have listened to what everybody said or what I thought or what people thought was best for me, I wouldn't have had the success I had in my life. It was really about, you know, putting all that outside of my mind and actually doing my own research. And research isn't just listening to what somebody says. It's actually looking like at the information, multiple sides of it, and then making your own informed decision. I mean, that's what doing your own research is. And then the information that we're going to provide, it's really just to teach you guys, teach you guys to give you enough information so you can make your own informed decision. It's and the nodes and the blockchains. This is one of the coolest part, and maybe I'll have Jake talk about this a little bit, but the nodes and blockchains are governed by the DGF, which stands for the Distributed Governance Framework. Traditional like blockchain type products, you have a company kind of pulling the strings and calling the shots and affecting the markets and doing all this stuff. And as a result of that, not all of the time, but most of the time, what you see out there in the crypto space is you see these very short-lived projects that oftentimes are a flash in the pan. They'll go through like a big market run up and then crash and then usually disappear. And a lot of these companies don't necessarily do what's best for the community. And that defeats the whole purpose of what blockchain stands for at its core. Because blockchain, one of my favorite features of blockchain is that blockchain disrupts that centralized power structure, you know? And so, Jake, do you want to speak on like the DGF a little bit before we get into the meat and potatoes of the presentation?
Yeah, exactly. I feel like it goes hand in hand with two different things. That digital rewards are used for utility, and then true ownership, which is how we collectively can gather and govern ourselves. Because we aren't just, we did not just create as a community a blockchain like John mentioned, where it's cool. Yeah, sure, they use blockchain and they have a token that they trade in the market, but that's it. Like where their token is their product, and that's it. Because really, a token is not a product. We're actually fully decentralized. We're not, using a decentralized technology. We're decentralized in governance structure. So, like as a BlockBot owner or as a node owner, you actually participate in this governance structure. Whether you want to shape and mold where we go and help by doing that, you can put up proposals and really help change and push this in the direction that we want to go to truly change humanity. And those proposals can be voted upon by the entire node network. So we have 100% a voice in this, and we can help drive those things forward. Um, it, Things like votes, it takes 50% quorum. Like what that means is 50% of the licenses that exist have to show up and they have to participate in these votes for them to happen. And then not only that, it takes 75% of supermajority in agreement. If it's anything less than that, it obviously requires more discussion in the community so that we can actually pick a decision either way to make sure that that happens. So that's true consensus of a community. We all move in the direction that is best for the whole. I can't think of a fair system in anything, including, governments within our own countries. Like nothing is truly that powerful where you have so much of a say so and you have full transparency of where things are exactly going and knowing that you have a part in that. It's all on chain where you can see where your votes are cast. You can see all of the other votes that are happening on chain. Granted, they're encrypted. I can't tell, who John T is whenever he's voting unless he gave me his wallet information for me to know his wallet address. But we truly have this collective voice in how we govern ourselves, and it's all thanks to like us helping build this node network. If without that infrastructure, we would not have this power. So we meet like all different prongs of decentralization by not just using decentralized tech, but being decentralized in our governance structure, that we truly all own this. Like there's not a central governing company that can decide the direction that affects all of us. So whenever we purchase a BlockBot or we purchase a node, we know what comes with that and the power and the responsibilities that we can actually utilize.
Yeah, that's great. And that's the whole point, like really about this whole presentation, because even the blockchain people don't even really know what it means to for a community to really be in full control, because unfortunately the crypto sphere in general and the blockchain space, they're just so used to Web 2 companies kind of like pulling the strings in the space. You have a company that like kind of has one foot in Web 2, their traditional company that does some blockchain stuff in Web 3, and that's like most of the projects out there. So it may you may experience people that have a little bit of cognitive dissonance when you introduce this new concept. It's like a new paradigm shift, really. It is what we're going to introduce. It's literally a new system that is not owned and controlled by a company, and it's owned and controlled, and its destiny is shaped by the very community that supports it and helps it. So Let's jump right into the meat and potatoes of the presentation. If you've seen some of the presentations before, they're very similar, but I did make a lot of changes. So you guys can feel it, right? The systems are breaking down, whether it's in our homes, in our wallets, in our freedoms. The systems built to serve us now, they actually control us. Think about it. Think about it in energy, in food. Energy is a big one, guys. What control do we have in our energy? Right here where I live in Massachusetts, there's I only have one option for power and maybe like a couple other options to buy some, what do they call it, Jake? There's like a service, and then you can like choose other providers to do the delivery. But it's so centralized, and I have no power in that. Food is a big one. Unless we're growing our own food or farming our own food, like we have no power, control, transparency around that. Finance, we don't control the dollar. Our data is a huge one. People may or may not even care, but like data is one of the biggest games in the world, and our data is used against us and sold all the time. And all of this power is drifted upward and outward outside of the system, and we don't get to participate really financially in any of that. And we are the very people that make the system possible because we're the participants in it. So the bottom line here, guys, our systems are broken. So they own this. They own the whole infrastructure, the whole internet, everything. We just pay the rent. Everything we do in the world, we are renters. We rent our AI, we rent our data, we rent our attention. Every time we scroll, every time we click, every time we do anything in the current systems of the world, it fills big tech's pockets, while we really get nothing in return. But let me ask you guys a question. What if ownership came back to the people? What if everything we did, every click, every post, every share, every time we did anything, it created value that flowed back to you? So that's the very question that birthed Connect and Blockbot and AI and blockchain. It's people in one community owned system. That's really what we are. Right now, it may not seem like that because we're just looking at the tip of the iceberg of the potential of what I believe this will be. This is the new system that fundamentally changes the way all other systems work. So we're building a community-owned economy, essentially, is what it is. It's transparent, decentralized, and fair. No corporate control, no gatekeepers. Every action, every share, every lesson, every purchase, every time we do anything, it builds ownership, impact, and freedom across the planet. And it all really starts with Blockbot. AI, your AI that gives back. So right now we just launched our AI side of Blockbot. So it's in its very infant stage. It's not even released to the world. It's in an alpha state. But what this is it is an AI that learns how you think. It can help you act smarter. It can make smart decisions for you. It's built on the blockchain, and it rewards what you do. It's literally your digital twin that's working for you. We all know there's like ChatGPT and Grok and all these types of AIs out there, but um, sure, those can help you, but all of that data and all of the information and memories and actions that you're feeding it, they don't necessarily benefit you financially. They're going outside into a totally different system. What we're saying here is that everything you do and everything we do as a community helps benefit what we're doing in our system. And our system is owned by the block bots. So traditionally in any other systems, like every bit of value that's created and added in that system, people don't get to participate in that, financially, or they're not rewarded for it. Our system, it flips that whole script where we get rewarded because we are essentially the owners of the infrastructure. This is built for people and not corporations. The internet and Web 2 and traditional companies have lost their way. Connect rebuilds it around people. It's powered by AI and blockchain and owned by the community. And everything we do, every action adds value that flows back to you. It flows back to us. So I want to kind of break this down a little bit so you guys can understand, like, put out of your minds the way the world works right now, and just imagine that inherently in everything we do, there's an incentive and a reward attached to it. It's just baked into the way the system works. It's how the world works. That's what I'm suggesting. So you can share to earn. Guys, like, we share all the time. I don't know why people get an icky feeling when they see something where somebody's rewarded for sharing something with somebody. We literally do it all the time. Like, I use this example. I got to come up with some new examples, but like when you eat at a restaurant and you have a good meal, like, you're gonna tell your friends about it, right? If you find a really cool product at the store that like gives you a lot of value, like, you're gonna tell your friends about it. Anything. If you use a good travel agency and you have a good experience, like, you're gonna tell your friends about it. And like, the problem with that is that, like, all of that value that you're creating, or all of that like energy that you're directing towards whatever project or product it is, like, you don't get to participate in any of that economic value. Like, here, what we're saying we're doing is, every time we do anything we're already doing in the world, sharing, learning, gathering, taking action, you're helping to grow the community, and it's actually recorded on the blockchain as proof of impact. And it's not just about what you do or I do, it's about what we all do together. So the more we do together, instead of like all of this going to a company or up and out, like, as we all do stuff together, more rewards flow to everyone who owns Blockbots. So when we grow, we all rise. Does that make sense? Jake, do you want to kind of maybe say that in some different words there? Because I think that's the core thing about, going from like the DGF, we own this, to understanding that old system, and now this like new system where it's a shared value economy with no centralized owners.
Yeah, I've always put it into perspective, like that proof of action rewards us for things that are currently being leached from us from big tech or big companies right now. Uh, because we don't have ownership over any of that. We've built systems for big tech. We've almost, in a way, have participated in the entrapment of ourselves as humanity without really realizing it. We put so much trust in, the adoption and the build outs of everything that we love in Web 2 without realizing it, because we didn't have that ownership. Think about Facebook. Think about, you literally can put any type of big tech company, and we built it. Like, we were technically communities. Like, we're Facebook community. Like, we shared with our friends, and we adopted and built this system that now we are entrapped in. We gave all of our data up. We gave all of our time and resources up to bring people to collectively congregate inside of this place, without realizing that our data and all of our efforts and all of our energy was sold to the highest bidder. And we didn't get to participate in that because we didn't own it. That entire infrastructure only serves their top investors. We are just a product in that world. But whenever we can govern ourselves and we can own our network and our community collectively together, we're rewarded to build our systems. All of these things that we love in the Web 2 world but have become corrupted, we can and are building and have built everything that we like about that world in this new system, and we own it and we're rewarded because of that reason. So it's so much more uh, motivation to go out and to go to that old world of Web 2 and bring people to this new way, bring people to participate inside of our community. Because the bigger we grow, the more value proposition inside of our community, the more that we can leverage ourselves as a community and do really powerful things and be rewarded to do so. So it's a really, really, really powerful thing that uh, that we're doing, you know. And a little bit later, I'll share an analogy of, I kind of call it like the tale of two cities as we're building, uh, that I think will kind of further go into this vision. But it really is so powerful. And it started with us to build the infrastructure, and then it continues efforts for us to go out and share with the world.
Yeah, I love that, Jake. I love the way you put that. And if you look at that Facebook model where it's like, every company, you remember like Mark Zuckerberg like started off in the college dorm, and like that company was just starting out. They were just marketing to like college people at first, and then over the past however many years it's been, like they've turned into like one of the biggest multi-billion dollar companies in the world. And like I look at us as like those college dorm days, but instead of just having Mark Zuckerberg running the show, it's like everybody in the dorm gets to participate in this. So like as I believe will grow into a multi-billion dollar economy, like as we grow like Facebook did, or all these early companies did, like, you know, we will become a multi-billion dollar, not company, but economy that's owned by the very college kids, or the very people who have block bots. So that's a great analogy, and I love the way you said that, because I don't quite think a lot of people understand quite what we're doing yet. I think they might think it's like, oh, I buy this thing that gives rewards, but I don't think they understand that we're literally building this new system that shares value with the very participants of it. We also have learned everything's to earn, guys. Like, so we have share to earn, we have learn to earn. So we get to learn the present, the future, and we get to earn our place in the future. If you haven't been through the learn to earn, I would suggest, if you're new, like reach out to somebody and grab like a weekly learn to earn NFT. It will give you access to it. Or if you want to take advantage of the learn to earn, that's included in the Blockbot. And what it is, it's short, powerful weekly lessons that teach AI and blockchain basics. Like if you want to learn anything in the world, you're either going to go try to find the information yourself and try to sift through like all the good and the bad, or you could buy like courses or whatever, but the only reward you're getting for that is the value that's inherent in the knowledge, right? In our learn to earn, you're not only consuming the information and gaining that value, you're actually being rewarded in tokens and or NFTs. In fact, you're rewarded minimally $200 in value for a week, but most week it's been about $500 in NFTs that we're getting. So there's a piece of content that you consume, there's a quick quiz, a little bit of action, and this is the proof of action. It's like you prove you do some action, and it's rewarding that progress in tokens and or NFTs. So we want to incentivize learning and reward that, incentivize sharing and reward that. We also do gather to earn. So, like in this system, community is the currency, because the value of what we create is in our community. And it's the same way in Web 2. Like if you look at Facebook, right? Billions of dollars of infrastructure, but how valuable is it without the very people who participate in it? Just imagine if everybody got up today, right now, and said, we're gonna cancel all of our Facebook accounts, and nobody was on Facebook. Facebook would be valueless. All of those billions of dollars of infrastructure they've built over the last decade and a half or 2 decades. I don't know, I'm getting older every day, the 20 years, 15 years, but it's worthless unless there's people participating. You know, the cell phone networks, it's worthless unless people use them. Okay, so gather to earn. Community is our currency. Events, workshops, summits, each attendance creates proof of action rewards. You earn rewards just for showing up, growing together, gathering all across the world in 195 different countries. And then we have grow to earn. This really has to do with our AI that's just come out in alpha. There's only a portion of our community that has access to it right now, but in the next couple of weeks, everybody will. Grow to earn. So the smarter that you get, the smarter your blockbot gets, the smarter the network becomes. Your blockbot learns, it guides, and it rewards your growth. Every action is logged on chain as proof of action, driving daily rewards flow to the community. So the more actions that we feed Blockbot, um, the more memories that we feed Blockbot, and the more we grow Blockbot across the world, the stronger that Blockbot gets, and the more rewards that come into our community. So it's just like how Facebook scaled from the college days to what it is right now. All those rewards went to the pockets of Mark Zuckerberg and their like upper team and the shareholders, right? Like we never got to participate in any of that value. I've been involved with Facebook since 2009. I've never made one dime off of their growth. And, I've participated in it since 2009. And so what we're saying here is because we own this and because of the way this system is designed, like as we grow and as Blockbot grows and spreads across the world, like we get to participate in that economic value that's that's created. Here's something that's not live, but it's coming soon. Every dollar becomes an action. This is called save to earn. So through the Save network, we're going to be able to earn rebates on purchases, like just like in Costco. Like if you had a Costco membership, Costco is one of these like wholesale stores, nationwide stores. I don't know if you guys have it in different parts of the world, but here we do. And then there's another one called like Rakuten, but instead of being like Web 2, this will be like blockchain power. So each time you like spend, you get to save on like more purchases of like NFTs and products and services and stuff like that. So that's pretty cool. That's coming soon. And everything we do here, it's powered by Blockbot. And I'm gonna dig into like a little bit about like why Blockbot's so powerful. Um, it's multi-chain in one community. And what that means is the Win and Foundation's blockchains together confirm every real world action and transaction and distribute rewards. Our NFTs represent utility and real ownership. And of course, no company controls this. The value that's created flows through the smart flow system back to Blockbot owners. So what do you get with Blockbot Pro? Let's take a look at it. So you get the 1 year Blockbot AI suite. It's in alpha. It'll be released to the rest of the community and the rest of the world very soon. That value is $500. You also get one Win Smart Node, and that value is $2,000. You also get access to Win NFT drops. That actually hasn't started yet, but that will be starting very soon in the next couple of weeks. So every product or service that is a Win blockchain product or service it's not just created by this company and sold in the shopping cart. Everything we do and everything that's created is distributed through or will be distributed through the block bots. So if you're a block bot, that means that you are an owner in this and that you get to participate in the actual creation of these NFTs that represent products and services. So being an owner will give you access to those drops. Now, I can't put a price tag on that because it's randomized and based on an algorithm, but I can give you some past examples, like in some of our earlier projects when NFT distributions happened. It was a, different time and a place, but, people got NFT drops that were worth, anywhere from a few $100s a piece to several tens of thousands of dollars a piece. So that was really fun. Um, it also comes with the Foundation Smart Node. Currently, the Foundation Smart Node is valued at $500, and the blockchain is not live on that, but it is in kind of like a seed distribution, like a pre-distribution phase, where currently what the Foundation's node does is it gives the Blockbot owner or the Foundation Smart Node owner 100 rewards per day per every distributing brand in our ecosystem. And I think we have about 10. So it's like 1,000 rewards per day. That's like 30,000 rewards per month across our whole ecosystem. Um, Also, the Blockbot gives access to the AI and Blockchain Academy. We think once that's fully baked out, that'd be worth around $2,000. We talked a little bit about the learn to earn, um, so we know what that is. The value on that is $200 in value per week per Blockbot Pro that you guys own. The Blockbot Pro does give 6 months free hosting, so it's a $60 value on that. And then I'm not going to dig too much into it, but for people that really appreciate this type of community-owned system and that want to help participate in the growth and expansion of our network, um, you have the ability to earn an impact badge. And I personally think that there's no price that you can even put on that because we are like Facebook in the college days, and it's hard to say what the value of what we're doing will be worth. So the total value here, guys, with the Blockbot Pro is in between like $5,000 and $6,000 plus. The Blockbot Pro license is currently $2,500 per year. So there's a ton of inherent value baked in it. So I'm gonna go through this next slide, and then I think I'm gonna have Jake talk a little bit. But I talked a little bit about multi-blockchain and why does it matter? Multi-blockchain connected, one intelligent flow of value. So Blockbot Pro, it isn't just tied to a single blockchain. It's actually connected to our whole entire ecosystem. And it primarily connects through two blockchains, okay? Two core blockchains, because it has two core nodes in it. It has the Win smart node, which connects into the Win blockchain. And the Win blockchain connects into all of our other blockchain. What it actually does is it indexes revenue and economic activity across all partner networks. So we have like 10 other active blockchain networks in our decentralized um, ecosystem. And the Win blockchain tracks and monitors revenue as it comes through, because the way I explain, like traditional companies, like that revenue just flows up and out to the owners and shareholders. Here we are the owners and shareholders, so the Win blockchain indexes and tracks that revenue that comes in through all of our partner brands and distributes that equally according to this algorithm. And it's a very fair algorithm. Now, in addition to that, the second blockchain that it will connect into right now. That blockchain's not live, but it's the foundations blockchain. And much like the Wind blockchain, the foundations blockchain is also an index, but instead of indexing economic value in the form of like revenue, money coming in to purchase things, it's not indexing that, it's indexing transactions. So as people or community members are sending tokens to do this, that, or the other thing, what the foundation's blockchain is doing is putting a confirmation on that transaction to verify it, and it gets to share in a little bit of that gas fee. So as our transactional volume increases across all of our blockchains, these foundations nodes that are running get to share in these rewards that begin to grow and grow and grow as our transactional volume increases. Like, think of Facebook when they had like not a lot of users. They started with just a handful of people, went to several hundred, had several thousand. So there wasn't a lot of, like, for lack of a better term, there's no transactions happening on there, but there wasn't a lot of like data going on back then. But it's like, I don't know, there's billions of people using Facebook. So there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot of value and data that's being flip-flopped back and forth. So just imagine if you were a node on the Facebook network who got to share in all of that activity. That's really what we're talking about here. So together, the two core products, the two core blockchain products, the Win Smart Node and the Foundations node, which are included in the Blockbot Pro, together they unify data from 10 plus interconnected blockchains. So every action, purchase, interaction feeds this value back to us, Blockbot Pro owners, because we own this. Jake, I've gone a couple slides without hearing from you. I really like to hear kind of you say your take on it, because I know sometimes if you say something a little different, it hits a little bit different where somebody can understand it in a way, even though we're talking about the same thing. I think it's important to have somebody else's take on it too.
Yeah, this is the powerful aspect of what we're doing by building the infrastructure and participating in the blockchain that I hope becomes apparent to everyone, because blockchain is so much more than that initial build out of the infrastructure. You know, our primary distribution, the rewards you get every day for operating your node and supporting the blockchain, because there is these secondary type distributions that come from this, and it's very powerful if you think about mass adoption. This should be one of the more primary motivators to tell the world about all of this. In my eyes, it truly is. If you think about the win node portion of it, and whenever sales volume and revenue come through, that you actually get a portion of that. And then on the foundational layer, anytime a token is moved from one wallet to the other, whether it's someone giving it, whether it's someone making a purchase, or anything in that matter, that you're earning a portion of that. Think about if you were building out a cell phone tower system and you were, kind of paid up front to put the tower up. Well, that's cool, but think even bigger than that. What if you were paid every single time a new user needed a new cell phone, or they needed to pay for their payment plan, or any other type of device that is associated with utilizing that cell phone network? That's kind of like being a WinNode owner. Now, think about any time someone transacted with a call. What if every single time a cell phone call took place on that network, that you rewarded some of the processing fees inside of that? That is the big reason to build the infrastructure. So as the masses come, and as commerce starts to happen, you're participating in that. You were on the leading edge, on the forefront of building that infrastructure. And as everything starts flowing through that, remember, we built a new rail for people to transact on, that you're rewarded inside of that participation. That is where the massive network success happens. And we no longer need these old systems for the world to transact on. So as this becomes more and more apparent, everyone's going to want to participate, and they may not even be blockchainers. They literally will want the products and services, but they have to use our blockchain as a transacting medium to get those products and services. So we're no longer talking about building blockchain and, oh, that's cool, I can send you a token, but literally all we can do is buy and sell and trade it on the markets. This will be real consumers, and actually already is real consumers that are buying that token and transacting with it. So the real value proposition comes from our products and services, and we are all rewarded because we help build the infrastructure that even supports and makes that possible.
Yeah, I love that, Jake. That's amazing. Thanks for sharing your take on it. Another thing, the Blockbot Pro is actually designed to give back more than it costs, and that's true right now today. So most tools charge you every month and then never return like value in the form of like a value that you can like rebuy the subscription. Like Blockbot Pro is different, guys. It's built on this multi-blockchain ecosystem, decentralized ecosystem that channels both the revenue and transactional value from across the networks directly back to every licensed Blockbot Pro owner. So you're not just paying for another subscription, you're actually activating a position inside of a living, connected, decentralized economy that works for you, that works for us, the community who owns it. So these are just some examples here to kind of like put things into perspective. Like you buy AI apps, online tools, and like I probably pay more than this for like all the stuff I buy out there, but it only gives me access and it only gives me value in the form of the tools. I don't actually make anything off it where I can like take that to like rebuy my subscription. If you think about like online courses and memberships, like the only value you get back from that is the value and knowledge that you consume. So it's temporary. Blockbot Pro totally flips that script. It's a $2,500 a year annual cost. It's multi-blockchain connected and rewards you from all of our blockchain. It comes with an AI suite, an academy, and a ton of community value. But my point here, guys, it produces more than enough value to cover the annual cost. That's what I don't think people realize. They might look at this and say, oh, it's $2,500 per year. Yes, but the value that's created within that annual time is much more than enough to cover the cost of your ongoing renewal. So the value that's created essentially perpetuates it forever and has surplus. That's the point I want to get across on this slide. So it's more than a product, it's a system that gives back. You can save time with AI automation. Everybody will be able to see this very soon. You can learn the skills in both blockchain and AI that keep you ahead. Like we're on the bleeding edge of technology here, guys. Things are changing so quick. There's a lot to learn. And so we're rewarding people for that. And you can earn on-chain participation rewards for everything you do. We talked about that. You have the ability to receive NFT drops with real value potential, and you can belong to a multi-chain economy that rewards impact. Every revolution rewards the ones who move first. Think about this little contrast here. The old world, the current world that you we're kind of all in still. We rent everything, we pay forever, and we build nothing. This new world, we own it. We own our AI. We own the blockchain. We build freedom, and we have the potential to be early. So We can own our Blockbot Pro for $2,500. It gives us everything that we talked about in here, and it gives you my hope in this presentation is that you've gained a little bit more insight or knowledge into understanding like what it is we're actually doing. So you can activate your license today, unlock AI tools, multi-chain rewards, academy access. We talked about the commerce savings that's coming soon, the SAVE program, and then hosting and impact badge incentives. So don't rent your future, you can own it. You know, together we're replacing corporations. We're replacing the existing systems out there where you can own your AI data, receive value participation, and you're not part, well, you're part of a global movement that's built on creating impact and value for the very community that's creating it, not extracting it. So right now we currently have 41,000 block bots across 175 different countries. We've done over 1 trillion transactions and have mined 560 billion rewards across all of our projects. And again, the old world rents. Do you want to be a renter or do you want to be an owner? Because the new world is all about ownership. When you own something, nobody can take it from you. When you rent, they call the shots. So we've built something bigger than a platform. We've built this multi-blockchain, decentralized, community-owned economy where value flows directly to the people who create it. Every action, every share, every lesson and transaction is verified on-chain across 10 plus connected blockchain. Wind tracks the revenue, Foundations tracks the transaction, and all of that value flows back to you. It flows back to me. It flows back to us. It doesn't flow to companies. And every action we do, every bit of energy we exert in anything we do strengthens Blockbot and rewards us. So own your AI, own your data, and own your future.